Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here. Wow, look at this card. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I created the background using distressed crayons, which are absolutely so much fun to use, but I'll show you how you can use different mediums as well. And then a little bit of a sparkle pen over the top just to give it that gorgeous shimmer and give it that little bit of a lift. Any stamp that you've got will do on there. It doesn't have to be as solid as this. It could be something a little bit more free flowing. All I would recommend is that you do your background so that it's a bit smaller than whatever you're stamping, so that you can come off into the white, because that gives you a lovely effect. A little sentiment, a few little bits of splats, a couple of pearls, and look at that, a beautiful, beautiful card. And it really didn't take long to make. So I hope you like this, and I'm going to show you now how to make it. I have never done a demo on this channel using my distress crayons yet. So these are something that I bought when I worked on Crafter's Companion, and they're by Ranger, and they're, it says distress crayons, and I used to use them when I was doing my flower forming, because I used to apply colour to the foam using them. So I thought, I don't know, why don't I have a go at doing something a little bit different with them? So I picked a selection of colours, quite a lovely sort of rainbow of colours, and that's what we're going to work with today. So I've got a piece of card, watercolour card, and it is 5x7, and I've got my trusty Altenew masking tape. So I'm going to take a piece and I'm going to pop it onto the top, at the top, so the border is the width of the tape, just like that. And I'll stick it down in just a minute. There, put that there. Make sure you can see that. Then I'm going to do one at the bottom, the same, putting it to line it up with the bottom, just like that. Spin it round. Now, when I come to the sides, I'm going to do it slightly different, in so much as I'm going to just do it 2/3. I don't know why. When I was prepping it, I just did, and it works. So, and the other one, again, another sort of roughly 2/3. I've not done any pencil marks, so it's all very approximate. So there's my piece of card. Now, if you don't do this, you can actually get quite a nice look and get sort of like your rough edges. But I wanted to try and bring something in a little bit more structured. So I've got my distress crayons, and they are they're really highly pigmented. I don't know too much about them, but they're in the same colours as you get your distress inks. So they are just like a crayon based, a waxy crayony base of the pigment. So I'm going to pop some of my first one on. So this is pickled raspberry, and I'm just going to go over on here. Let's do, I want to get 5 down here, so this wants to be roughly a 1/5. I can always adjust it later. Put that one on there. Then I'm going to come in with a yellow, and they wind up from the bottom, so it's quite handy. You don't need any sharpeners or anything. I'm just going to bring this down again about another 1/5, and look at it. I mean, it looks nothing when you put them on like this. Just apply it just there. Like I say, if you want to, you could do it without the masking tape, and then you can then that will allow you sort of have like paint effect edges, but I was trying to get it tidy. So I've got 2 reds. Now this is fired bricks. It's a bit brown. This is abandoned coral, but the great thing is you can build up the colours. So I'm just going to go in with this one to begin with. Actually, that's quite a nice colour, and I've not badly guessed my 5ths either. So let's go in here. I'm probably going to apply a bit more colour in a minute, but for now we're just sort of laying down the colour. It's about mapping it out. We've talked about this before. Now this green peeled paint is quite deep, so I've got twisted citron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of put my peeled paint on quite light, just to give it a little bit of depth, and then I'm going to sort of fill that in quite heavily with the what did I say this was? Twisted citron. Now the great thing is about these is they blend really, really well, and it's really controlled. So we can put that on like that. It's almost as well a bit like having a paint palette. I could do these and use these as a paint palette if I wanted to go out and about with them, so that works really well. Now I'm going to just come in here with this purple. Let's just see what this purple does, because I did put a bit of a different colour in. Actually, I quite like that. Let's just leave it at that for a minute. I want that to come right down. There we go. There we are. I was going to use those, but I don't think I'm going to need them. So let's put this onto here. And then we're going to make a nice swooshy background. So all I've got, pot of water and a nice big chunky paintbrush. And I've got some paper towel. So let's wet the brush. And then I can dry the brush off a little bit. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to smooch over that and just blend it in. Like I say, in a bit, we can add in a bit more and it will apply differently once the card's wet. So let's just put that in. Just sort of mix the two where they blend. Remember, we always can keep going back. And then I'm going to take the yellow is actually my favourite for laying down colour. It's almost like the most pigmented of all of them that I've come across. It's really lovely. You can see the difference, but we can make them catch up. So the red. Don't go too wet, otherwise they will just dilute down. If they start to run a bit, you can always just dot it down a bit. We don't want it perfect. That's the whole point. I could have done perfect, but this is about freehand. Green. Remember, we've got the two green. Oh, that's a bit more vibrant. That's much better than what I had before. I like that. Bit more vibrant, but that putting that peel paint underneath the citron just gives it that little bit of depth. And then the next one we're going to do is our purple. What was that one? I didn't actually read. Shaded Lilac. There we go. You probably recognise all of these from your Distress inks as well. So they are the same shade. I'm going to put that down. Then just, yellow is perfect. I don't think I need to do any more to yellow. So let's come in with the pink and I'm just going to apply this. And like I say, they apply differently once your cardstock is already wet. So I can just put a little bit more of the pink on. Let's come in with the red. What did I say this one was? Abandoned coral. It's not very coral. It's nice. It's very red, isn't it? I like it. I do like this. When I looked at this, I was thinking, oh, it is a coral, but it lays down red. So I'm quite happy with that. The green. And can you see the difference in how they're just applying because they're sort of they're wet. So this is great. You've got different ways to apply them and different mediums. Let's come in with this purple. We're going to do something else in a minute. So I want to make sure I've got plenty of pigment down. There we go. Right. So that's so let's come in. So I've got quite a lot of water. So I'm going to try and make sure my brush is fairly dry. And I'm just going to blend out that pigment just to give me, oh, I've got a bit of yellow there, a bit more depth. Like I said, the yellow I'm quite happy with. They're not perfect straight lines, but that's good. Oh, that red's much better now, isn't it? Just adding that bit more pigment. Don't worry about this. It'll look completely different once you take the tape off. And then just blend it in. There we go. Look at that. And if you get little bits of white, that's absolutely perfect. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to dry it and then I'll come straight back in a minute. Okay, so that feels fairly dry. Now, I can take the tape off, but I'm going to leave it on for a minute. And I'm going to pick up my sparkle pen. So these look lovely, but a bit flat. So I'm going to get my sparkle pen. This is a Crafter's Companion, Wink Stella, whichever you want. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a squeeze. And I'm just going to lightly brush over, squeezing the liquid out as we go. I don't want too much, but I just want to give it that, I just want to lift it a little bit, just give it a little bit. I think my pen might be starting to run out, but that's okay because I only want just that little hint. But look what a difference just having that little bit of sparkle makes. There we go. There we are. I better go looking for a new sparkle pen. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. Okay, so once I've got that, I'm just going to... Actually, I think I can probably take the tape off now. Let's take the tape off and then I can do a proper dry. Now, remember, when you're drying... Oops, that's caught a little bit. You also need to dry from the back as well, and that will flatten out your card. There we go. Peel off like that at an angle. Just started to lift there, but I can get that stuck down. Lift it up. Turn it round. And all the way around. Oh, I've my card. Never mind, it won't show, hopefully, once I've finished. The last one, it didn't catch at all. I did a prep one. It didn't catch at all. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Right. How does that look? That looks lovely, doesn't it? Really, really nice. Okay, so you might want to just give it another quick dry. I'm just going to give it a quick dry. All right, so we've got that lovely and dry now. Very warm, that's nice. And I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I definitely want to use my stamping platform. Let's get rid of my crayons because we're finished with those. They are done. I love that box they come in. Special distress crayon box. And we can pop this into the stamping platform. Put that there, and I'm going to put my magnet over this side. Now I've got, I always say I think it's a Stamped by Me one. Nobody's told me it's not. No idea. I've just got it in the out the packet, so it's just a beautiful stamp that I've done a few projects with. Now I purposely did this so that this gave me space to go off the edge of the colour block. So I just thought this would look really nice. So you got that firm colour block. If you wanted to leave your masking tape on and then do this, you'd have a nice straight edge, but I wanted to come off the edge, so we can pick that up. And now I've thought about this. I thought I would use a waterproof ink pad. Two reasons. One, in case there's any water left in there. I know it feels dry, but it could have a little bit of water in there, therefore it won't smudge. And also I'm going to do a bit of splatting, so I know then it won't smudge when I splat. So yeah, couple of reasons. So we can do that. Now, that's not bad, but I could do with a bit more. So going with the second one. This is why I did it on my platform, just to give me that extra reassurance that I can go back in there and, you know, apply a bit more ink. Stamping pressure tool, just to apply that even pressure. And then, hey, presto about that. How does that look? Doesn't that look beautiful? So before I finish, I just want to take that. I'm going to put the magnet down that side, and I've just got a little butterfly stamp, and this one is just out of my Crafter's Companion Beautiful Butterflies, because you get all of those different ones. So we can take that. Oh, make sure I lift that off. Pick it up. I might as well do it in there. I could probably do this with a rocker block or a stamping block, but seeing as I've got this out, and again I've come off the edge of here. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect first time. There we go. You'll notice I sort of flip that, because otherwise I sometimes find it, if you drag the magnet off, and they're really strong magnets, if you drag the magnet off, you get grey marks. So there we are. We are at that point. So we are nearly finished. This is such a quick, lovely quick card to do. I'm going to pop that into there. I have actually got my stamping block ready, and I'm just got a little bit of black ink. I'm just going to put it down there. And then the other thing I've got is, and if you saw my Halloween one, you saw I had the fabric spray paint from Sticks 2. So yeah, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that. It's quite thick, is that? But I quite like mixing. Ooh, I've just dripped. Let's quickly get that up before it stays. That's the thing with fabric paint, is it will stick. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, I've got a cloth. So I've got a much finer paintbrush this time. Let's bring the water back in. And all I'm going to do is wet, and then I'm going to just mix the ink and the fabric paint. So you've got, it's much thicker than just ink. And then I'm going to put these on. So I don't mind if it goes over the flowers, and I want it to come onto the white as well. So let's just do a couple of little splats. I mean, I don't need much more, and I've still got all of that paint left. There we go. All this is an old box, you know, one of these storage boxes. I've got both bits with a bit of kitchen towel in the bottom. That probably change far too infrequently. And then I've got a little bit of acrylic paint. Oh, Jan gave me this tip. She said acrylic paint is a good one for splatting. So I squirted a bit out, squirted far too much out. I'm going to put a little spray of water on there because my water in my paint pot's not clean. So take that, and I'm just going to pick up some of that, and then I'll just do a couple of white sprays. I can feel more of it going on my hand than on the card, but the white is really nice. In the white, you just need to concentrate on the centre. There you go. And that is my card topper. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? So our technique today has been all about how to use your distress crayons to make this gorgeous glittery background. So I'm just going to dry that and then I'll be right back. And there you go. That is my card topper finished. So I'll just bring in the one that I did earlier. So you can see my red was a bit darker and my green was a bit darker. And it was more of a grey than a purple. I do like that one better, but I caught the edge of the card, so I don't know which one to use. I think I'm going to have to go with this one just because I just like the finish on it better. There we go. So that's my card topper. So all I have done is I've taken what was a card base for an 8x8 envelope, and I've just trimmed it down. So I folded it in half and then just trimmed the sides. And onto that, I'm going to add some baby pink glitter card because look at the colour match with that. I think that's pretty good, don't you? That was just pure fluke. Pure fluke. I made the card and then I thought, oh, come on, let's see what cardstock I can match it up with. Again, you could gut this if you wanted to. I'm going to take it that way round, put that onto there. So it's quite a slim border, but that was because the card base was sort of 7 3/4 or something like that. So it was just, obviously I only had that much height, so I had to put the same border on both sides. So yeah, it just ended up quite slim. And then onto that, I'm going to put white. So we can do that one. That one goes on next. And again, don't be using something like your solvent-based glues when you've got your glitter card because it will strip it. So this is where your tacky glue is so good. Yeah, there is a right glue for each one, and as we've discussed before, solvent-based glues won't work for coated cardstock. So yeah, that's why it was just easier to do them all with the tacky glue. I'm going to do this totally flat. Now look at that. Look how slim that white is. I wanted almost a drop shadow with the white. I really didn't want much. It's much bigger border for the pink. But that was just, all I wanted was just so that the black wasn't directly onto the pink. So I just went up even less than 1/8 of an inch, but I just wanted that. That worked really well. Okay, so I'm going to put this on, but it's had a lot of water applied to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. I've got some sticks to red liner tape, so I can put a piece on that side. So if I put this on and I put it on nice and tight and straight, when I lay my card down, it has to be straight. It can't cockle and buckle up because you see it's got a few little ripples and waves in. By putting the red liner tape on, I'm going to take out all of those when I put it onto my card base. So that's the only reason I'm going for red liner, because you don't very often see me do that. It just means it'll lay down flatter. So there's nothing. Ooh, that's the end of my tape, and that's not bad. There we go. That's the, how about that for thrifty? There we go. Now, red liner is brilliant, but just make sure you burnish it down before you try to remove the backing. So, back off there. And off there. If I was using finger lift tape, I wouldn't take all the backing off, but I find with red liner, I find it harder to leave little bits doing it. You know, that technique where you turn down the corners and then pull it off. I can't do that with red line. Oh, I don't find it easy. So I am just going to put a little bit of glue in the middle. And then I'm going to bring back my card base. And then I'm going to attach this to here. Now you'll notice there isn't a sentiment on here. Look at that. As soon as I put that down, you see, it grabs. There's no cockling at all. I don't want to press that actually, not in case things aren't totally dry. Look at that. Nice and flat. So all I'm going to do, as I said, there's no sentiment on there. I've just got a cheers to you, one of these black sentiments that I have. So I'm just going to take that and I'm just going to lay that. So I'm going to go over the image and then out into the white as well at approximately there. If I wanted to, we could add some black pearls. Got those there. only a couple, because we've got the splat, so it just gives a little bit of a lift. I'm putting them so far on there, I might just put a couple. These little ones are not easy to apply. Don't think the adhesive on them is as good on the smallest ones. Put those up there, and one more just there. I'm going to do one there. There we go. And that is how not to get distressed with your distress crayons, because I think that is absolutely lovely. So whatever stamp you've got, anything, your distress crayons. Now, I've used distress crayons. If you don't have distress crayons, how about something like a watercolour pencil? So what I've just done there with the distress crayons would work equally as well with the pencils. Just scribble your pencil down and then blend it out. Or you could use something like your watercolour pens. Having said that, no reason you couldn't do a wash with your watercolour paint as well. Any of those will work. I like to give you options, and that today is the finished card. Isn't that absolutely lovely? I really do like that. I hope that that you enjoy that too. Sometimes it's nice just to pare back and go a little bit more simple, because sometimes simple is really, really effective. So I hope you like that. Please don't forget to click on any of the links down below. And if you're watching this and you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really, really would appreciate it. All the clicks and links. Don't forget to click on that notification bell, because I try to post 4 times every week, and then you'll get notified of those. So thanks for watching. I will be back on Thursday, don't know what with yet, with another tutorial. So until then, happy crafting, my friends, and look after yourselves and take care. Bye for now.